And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. We've got a fun show for you to get you moving this morning with CCN Sunrise. Robert Bethia is here to show us some volleyball moves that he teaches his Arroyo Pasadena Elite Volleyball Club. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Lee Cuellar. And Mary Winters talks to attorney Chris Johnson about estate planning gone wrong.
So, Lee, we gotta talk about Kim Kardashian and that big butt selfie. Actually, no, we don't have to talk about that. I don't know why everyone is talking about this. It's horrible, especially when we actually have big news with the Philae rover landing on the comet. I mean, that's huge news, right?
No, I thought the rover landed on Kim's butt.
I know,
Is that
exactly.
what happened?
I think so.
They found it.
I think it, like clamped down on it.
It did. It was a huge round object out in space that has no meat, that has no use. So let's just land. Let's land there.
That works.
Why not?
All right. Well, we're going to move on. First up, the news.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your neighborhood starts right now.
Here's a look at some headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley. First, from our partners at Beacon Media News. Arcadia police want your help to find some alleged victims of a man they arrested this past week at Westfield Mall on charges of molesting a 10-year-old boy. Police say the boy told his mom the man fondled him in the bathroom of the Dave & Buster's. She chased him, then Dave & Buster's managers chased him and caught him. Then mall security called Arcadia police. Police say the man is 31-year-old Quan Chow of Monterey Park. They say he may be linked to the molestation of another 10-year-old boy, also in Dave & Buster's bathroom. They ask anyone with information about the two cases and any other possible victims to call Arcadia police at 626-574-5123, case number 145527. Tipsters can also contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS, TIPS, which is 8477, or by texting TIPS LA and your tip to crimes at 274637. It was a yappy hour at El Portal as they hosted a fundraiser for the homeless dogs and cats of the Pasadena Humane Society. CCN's Tony Mead was there and talked to organizers of the event.
The Pasadena Animal League is hosting Yappy Hour. I'm here with the president of the Pasadena Animal League, Lynn Nicholson. Hi, Lynn. Tell me about Yappy Hour.
Hi, Tony. I'm the president of the Pasadena Animal League. We are the auxiliary for the Pasadena Humane Society. We raise money primarily for the spay and neuter programs at the Humane Society. And we hold fundraisers, and this is one of them. It's called Yappy Hour. We also have other fundraisers throughout the year. And biannually, we have a large fundraiser.
Tell me about your relationship with the Humane Society.
The Pasadena Animal League is the auxiliary, the main and only auxiliary of the Humane Society. Our function is solely to raise funds. The Humane Society has a number of programs, outreach to the community, and for the welfare of the animals as well as people.
How many animals yearly will be rescued by the Pasadena Humane Society?
Well over 12,000. The Humane Society rescues all animals. There's an alligator, bunnies, squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, possums, birds, hawks, a little bit of everything at the Humane Society, besides the dogs and cats.
And what other programs does the Pasadena Animal League host?
Our signature program would be our semi-annual fundraiser. We just had one this past July called the Dog Days of Summer, where we raise funds, and that's normally a dinner function with it's centered around art and music, and that's our major goal.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
15% of the proceeds will be donated back to the Humane Society. In Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
That's it for news in this half hour. We'll have more for you coming up in the next half hour. Conservatives are calling it an Obamacare bombshell, and Democrats are tripping over themselves, trying to distance themselves away from a new video of Jonathan Gruber, referred to as the architect of the Massachusetts healthcare plan that became a blueprint for Obamacare and a consultant for the eventual Affordable Care Act. Local activist and author Michelle Zach joins us for the Morning Buzz. Michelle's the author of Altadena Between Wilderness and City, and also Southern California Story, Seeking a Better Life in Sierra Madre. She also has a book in the works about the Lisu people of South Asia due out next year. Now, Michelle, I have to hold up these books because they are, well, I'm going to get a workout in. Yeah, please help me here. These are just fabulous, really beautiful, and you really know this community well. But we're going to start out a little bit more nationally, talking about this bombshell video. I don't see what the bombshell is. I know the conservatives are tripping over themselves, you know, Fox News, oh my gosh, he called the American people stupid. Well, I just realized that Bill O'Reilly just did that a few weeks ago. He was saying, you know, the American people are too dumb to vote in Republicans. So I don't understand why it's okay for them to call people stupid, but this guy says, you know, basically the Affordable Care Act was gone through because we couldn't really say that healthy people have to join in to pay for the sick people. Last I checked, that's insurance. Is that correct?
Well, I'm with you. I think it's a tempest in a teapot, and something as important as healthcare, I would see it that it should be like a utility. It's something we all need, like we all need water, we need electricity, we need healthcare. But the politicization of healthcare and everything in this country is just so tiresome. That's my feeling on it. And if there's anything stupid, I think it's just this incredible, voracious news hole where we have so many talking heads and pundits that just have to constantly be stirring up negativity. I think that the Democrats should be running to and embracing Obamacare, trying to improve it.
And what do you think about Pelosi basically being like, I don't know this guy, but she does?
Pelosi always looks surprised.
Well,
it's the facelift.
But to be fair, who can remember a name of, can you imagine the number of people she deals with?
No, she knows this guy, and that was dumb of her to walk away from him. I mean, come on. They should just call it what it is. It's not a big deal. It's not the bombshell they're saying. It's not like the Mitt Romney video where he was actually, in essence, giving his view of what he thought of people. It's not that. I don't know. But we're going to move on. And so soon after the love fest following the elections, where each side said they would work with the other, the immigration debate ramps up the political divide once again. President Obama said he'll pass an immigration law at all costs, and Republicans have vowed that they will stop him at all costs. So game on and more politics as usual. Did you see this as anything different?
No, it's exhausting. Why not, you know, if something was said positive in the news, I think we would all be so shocked that we wouldn't know what to think or to say.
Yeah, well, when are the Republicans going to do something other than say no and be against everything? I don't understand. But, you know, so far the strategies worked out pretty well for them, but you just think at a certain point it's got to stop. They have to stand for something.
Well, you know, honestly, I was surprised at how, you know, quickly after the election that President Obama did come out and say, I'm going to vow to do this with executive order if I need to. Them are fighting words, you know. I do think, like, if you're trying to somewhat get along, I understand he wants to get this passed, but is that really the way to make this happen?
Well, he said that he would. He held off because several Democrats in tight races actually asked him to hold off. Not that it did them any good. Most of those Democrats lost their seats anyhow. But it seems that at this point, why try to get along with the Republicans? This is clearly not a winning strategy. Hasn't been.
Where's the spirit of cooperation? You know,
I don't know.
Where indeed?
I don't know where it went.
I try to understand. You know, we're working towards allegedly working towards a common goal. but it just doesn't seem like we are.
I know. And what is the approval rating of Congress? 7%, 6%?
It's way down there,
Everybody's
but-
disgusted, and yet we seem to be stuck.
And
it's so
somehow we have to
frustrating.
move forward, and maybe we need to have different word choices and way we get things done. But Michelle, we want to thank you so much for being here. We're going to have you up in the second buzz, so thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Coming up, another Michelle, Dr. Michelle Meyer, has the answers on what it takes to have a healthy, happy relationship.
Well, at least it looks good on paper, but she'll have tips on friendly fighting next in Family to Family.
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Friendly fighting, is that an oxymoron?
I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you.
Or the way to a healthy, happy relationship?
In Family to Family, Dr. Michelle Meyer says we should embrace conflict to stay happy. I've always said I don't understand couples who never fight. I don't believe them.
It's not healthy not to fight because then there's no emotion, there's no disagreement, and who really lives like that? Nobody.
Not I, let me tell you.
You know, we've all heard the old adage, a happy wife, a happy life. However, that may not always be the case. With individuals marrying later in life and continually rising divorce rates, over 50% in California, the question remains, what makes a good marriage? Marital satisfaction can be evaluated from perspectives of both husbands and wives' point of view. Several factors are said to influence wives' marital satisfaction, including level of intimacy, the ability to self-disclose, perceiving their partners as responsive, and their husband's expression of affection, time spent together, and communication styles. From a husband's point of view, factors include satisfaction with their sexual relationship, division of household tasks, or view on gender roles. The extent of input, husbands also like to know that their input is well received. There is a good amount of research about factors related to long-lasting relationships. There are a few common factors, but the ones that really contribute to a strong relationship include trust, knowing your partner cares, is coming from a good place, and supports you. Commitment, knowing that you're in this together. No matter what, focus on finding a good solution and not walking away. And finally, vulnerability, really, taking on the challenge of being yourself. Communication is important. I'm not saying it's not, but it doesn't matter if there is a lack of trust and commitment. Communication naturally evolves. Once couples start connecting and reconnecting, then that's when the communication really increases. And a few tips on strengthening your relationships, it's really the small things that matter, the small things every day to nurture the relationship. Kissing daily, sending sweet text messages, unplugging during dinner time, walking together, touching, listening, asking your partner how their day was, how their meetings were, what makes them happy. Making love is a huge part of happiness in relationships, making eye contact, sharing feelings, and putting your partner first. Relationship satisfaction often follows a U-shape. Couples are typically happier in the beginning, and then there are dips, which then they typically return to happiness. And factors that really influence influences include having children, finances, and health. So now let's look at the idea of friendly fighting. It is such an oxymoron, but honestly, friendly fighting is important because conflict is important in relationships and it's healthy. But you really want to make sure that it's respectful conflict and that the end result is really working to find a solution. So friendly fighting means working out differences, embracing conflict. There is no need to fear conflict. It's normal and healthy. Go after the issue, not the individual. Listen respectfully. Respectfully listening means acknowledging each other's feelings, either verbally or through focused attention. Talk softly, take the volume down, and watch the tone. Get curious, not defensive. Ask for specifics. If you're upset about something, instead of complaining about it, give a specific answer to your partner so they know what to do. Find points of agreement. Find common ground. Even if agreeing that there is a problem, it's still finding a common ground and then working to find a solution. And above all, you really want to learn to make concessions. I hear from couples that really have made it is that they've learned to work together and turn the situation around.
The hard part is, look at those lists. There's a lot to do.
There's a lot of things, and I think relationships probably are one of the most challenging things that a couple has to experience. And then you add children, and you add work, stress,
forget about it with children.
And then it just really does make it difficult. But there are simple things that we really can do to work on the relationship.
Absolutely right. It takes maintenance.
Absolutely, you are so correct.
Maintenance.
You
Date
are a
nights.
great person, Lee.
Date nights. Sweet text messages. I'm going to use that.
Yes, and touching.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, we'll say yes to producer LaCora Stevens and her show, which supports Christians in the entertainment industry.
And if you want to work on your volleyball moves, Robert Bethia is here to help. Show us what you got, Robert.
Hey, good morning, Sunita, Lee. How are you both doing? Got a couple quick ways just to pass yourself to practice. One is bounce to the floor and pass. Just simple here. Pass it up. And just tossing up in the air, passing this way, and just catching it. Those are the two quick ways you can get yourself to better success as a volleyball player.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Here at Pasadena Media, there are shows being shot all day at the studios. Producers are busy executing their visions and sharing their voices. Today in our Producers Point segment, we have LaCora Stevens with The Yes Show to talk about her passions. LaCora, it's so good to see you. We see you so busy running around with your set and just making it happen. So tell us about The Yes Show. What's it all about?
Well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
This is very different for me to be up so early, but The Yes Show is a 1 hour, it's America's unique 1 hour talk show where we highlight the young, entertaining, and saved of Hollywood. It's more like a magazine style format and lifestyle, yet it has various components of entertainment. So I think that The Yes Show is awesome. Everyone out there, if you're watching, make sure you check it out because it's a great, great show.
So why do you think the discussion you're bringing to the table is so important?
Well, number one, when we look at television, a lot of the shows that are broadcast are kind of risque, scandalous, a lot of sex involved. And our society has, in my opinion, become morally bankrupt based on the things that we see. We emulate it. We don't even say hello, how are you? You know, because we're so focused and just so concerned about us. Whereas the Yes Show, we highlight other people and show what they're doing to say, you know, it's not just about me. It's other people in this world that exist and they're doing positive things, so highlight them, talk about it.
Well, you definitely are doing positive things, but you know, a lot of times there's so much backlash with, you know, you don't talk about religion is what they tell you.
Right.
So do you get that kind of feedback? Or?
I have. Like, there have been situations where I wanted to discuss from pastors that have done not so great things, to issues of homosexuality, to whatever it may be. And people say, no, don't talk about that. That may be too much for the world to handle. You can't have conversations. You can't be, you know, you always have to be politically correct. It's something, you know what I mean? So I do find it to be a challenge. However, Hollywood has just started to realize, you know what, there's actually money in this.
Mark Burnett knows, right?
Yes. And they're like, you know what, maybe this Christianity, maybe this faith-based, maybe this religion isn't so bad because money, they see that it is marketable.
They've got their own religion.
They've got their own religion, that's right.
So tell us about, as far as producing a show, and we know very well like, how much work it takes.
Yes.
How much work have you put into putting this show together, you know, and just carrying your vision along?
Oh, Sanita, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into the Yes Show. It is a lot. It is very time consuming. I think I have wrinkles over here, you know, that I didn't have before because of it. But just trying to get a team together, the editing, getting sponsorship, investors, it's a lot. Marketing is a very, I think, imperative part of it because everyone is basing, you know, the social media numbers, who's engaged, things like that. So I feel that it is hard, it's challenging, but at the very end, it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. So how can people find your show?
People could easily find the Yes Show. You guys, I don't know, you're out there listening and watching. You just go to www.theyesshowtv.com, and there you will find any updates regarding the Yes Show.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Cora, thanks for being here, and keep on keeping on, doing your good work.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Robert Bethea is back after the break.
And Robert's going to show us some moves even us shorties can do.
All right, Sanita Lee, this is setting from the knees. Tossing up, just setting it and catching it. Tossing it up, setting and catch. And that's setting from the knees for the shorty.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
We get to play volleyball outside for most of the year on our Southern California beaches, but luckily you can keep up your game all year long.
Robert Bethea is here. He runs the Arroyo Pasadena Elite Volleyball Club, and he's here to show us all how we can improve our skills. Tell us about the club, Robert.
All right, well, Arroyo Volleyball Club has been around this year 16
Come on
years.
closer to
Wow.
us.
Oh, sorry about
you
that.
seem so far away.
Yeah, sorry. You know, it's been here 16 years. We've been around since 1998, where it first started as a clinic, and then we went into full production as a club. And from that time, our main focus was really to get the kids on the right track of developmentally so they can play competitively.
So what ages do you start with?
Age 8 all the way up to 18.
Oh, wow.
And then at that point, by the time they get to 18 in their high school level, they on their own determine if college is in their periphery of view to be able to participate at that level. But our job is, again, to just get them the start and let them do the rest.
I loved volleyball, but I was the only one cut from my varsity team. I think the height might have had something to do with it.
A little bit to do with it, yeah.
But you know, do you work with all different heights and men and women?
We do. What's great about height differential is that, there's a place for everybody. They call it specialization. So when you specialize, somebody like yourself that's a little bit shorter, we would train you to work out of the back row and play defensively and then help the team out to execute the offense.
They said the back row, but keep going, keep going. Oh, there's the bench.
Right. And unfortunately, hey, that happens
Everyone
sometimes.
has their role.
Exactly.
Well, what about, do you take this program internationally?
Yeah, I do have it internationally now. We're based in Canada as well. We're in the Ontario area in Pickering. We started a satellite club there back in 2012, summer 2012. Wow. And that was a fluke, you could say. I was in Europe taking a team to actually compete, and then made a trip to Canada where I met my future business partner in doing that. Okay. And that's all came to fruition.
We want to see your moves. So what are some of the moves you're teaching the kids?
Well, one of the moves, I'm gonna need your help on this because it'd be great.
Do you need me or do you need Lee?
I would prefer to have you since,
okay.
So basically, it's just it's just basic platform positioning. So we just have your feet shoulder width apart, one foot slightly in front of the other, and you will put your arms out simply like this, or they call the platform. And with your platform, you got to make it so I cannot push it down. So it has to be very. Oh, there it is. So what I'm going to show you, like we show all the kids, is that in rebounding, the ball rebounding, that you don't have to swing your arms like you would see a lot of people do. So get yourself this way, knees bent, make sure it's rigid. Now watch what happens with the ball, okay? Make sure it's stiff.
I'm working on it.
I'm just gonna do a soccer toss. You don't have to swing. Okay. Watch what it does. And it came right back.
My arms!
Yeah.
Did you see those guns, Lee?
Wow.
Exactly. So what happens? So what happens here now, with the game having changed so much, when somebody's doing a jump serve and it's high velocity, all you're having to do is hold the platform in position, and the ball just rebounds off it.
So when I was like going all this, that's probably why they're like.
Could have been, but that's how a lot of the game has changed with the speed of the ball and the serve being an attack. You're just holding the platform there. So that's just one of the many things that we teach them early on. So by the time they get older, it's second nature to them.
All right. Well, this was awesome. Thank you for showing us that move
you're welcome so
and working
much.
with those kids, because they really take skills from volleyball, the game, and the competitiveness focus onto their school and everything.
Everywhere in the world.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Robert. Coming up in our second half hour, the county is moving forward with the Hahamunga sediment removal project, and not everyone is happy.
And Dave has the perfect Thanksgiving wheatberry salad and a taste of sunrise. He'll also make a tasty turkey chili for leftovers. All that and more next. Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought, and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News Team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
We're back with our second half hour of CCN Sunrise. Coming up, estate planning gone wrong, and a hiker tangles with a Hollywood power couple. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Lee Cuellar. Also, the Mad Chef Dave Matthews has some ideas for the perfect sides that you'll want to cook up for Thanksgiving in A Taste of Sunrise.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, Lee, they're already talking about, stores opening up on Thanksgiving, ruining everything.
Yep.
But there's two women who are taking it to an extra level that I don't know if we need. Two women in Beaumont, California are already camping out for Black Friday sales. I just don't understand.
I don't get that.
I mean, are you not making enough money that you could just maybe pay a little extra or shop online? The deals are out there.
The deals are out there, think what it was cost to camp outside of a Best Buy.
For 22 days.
For 20, makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And that they're like, well, we always camp out, but there's only limited supplies. So if we're not first, we might not get that TV. It could be okay. Maybe just take a book. How about that? How about them apples? Well, we're going to check in with the news.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
Here's a look at some news headlines happening right here in the San Gabriel Valley. From October 28th to November 5th, South Pasadena had a string of home burglaries. CCN's Tony Mead talks to South Pasadena Detective Richard Lee on how homeowners can protect themselves.
I'm here at the South Pasadena Police Department with Detective Richard Lee to discuss the recent burglaries in the South Pasadena area. Thank you, Detective. What neighborhoods have been targeted?
Primarily recently the north and south end of our city. The north end off of Fremont between Buena Vista, Oaklawn, and Grace. And at the south end of our city, our Monterey Hills area of our city off of Alpha and La Framontia.
Were there any reported injuries?
No, thankfully none. No injuries to any of our victims.
Are there any suspects?
Yes, on two of the incidents, suspects were seen. In one incident, the suspects were described as two male blacks driving a black Mercedes-Benz CLK 320 series with paper plates. And in another incident, a really vague description, all we have are just two male blacks.
And what are some of the tips for residents to avoid burglaries?
Well, definitely want to lock your doors and windows. Many of our burglars walked right into the house with through an unlocked door or open window. No force was used. So we always recommend definitely lock your doors and windows. If you have an alarm, turn it on. Unfortunately, in two of the burglaries, alarms were not turned on, so they did no good. So definitely use that. Put warning signs around your house. If you have a dog, definitely. Keep your landscaping trimmed low. And above all, participate in Neighborhood Watch. Your neighbors are probably your best prevention against any burglar and suspicious activities.
And can you explain a distraction theft?
Yes, we had one distraction theft. They usually work in pairs. In this incident, a person came up to an elderly victim who was watering his lawn in the front and asked him to go to the rear yard to something about his rear fence measurement. And as the person was pulling out his measuring tape with the victim there, thankfully the victim keyed on something like, hey, I think I'm being distracted. He went back into his house and saw the second suspect there. After confronting him, both suspects basically left.
Thank you. South Pasadena Police reminds residents to lock their doors and windows and turn on their alarms. If you see any suspicious activity, contact 626-403-7297. In South Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
If you're thinking of throwing your hat in the ring for the March 10th, 2015 Pasadena primary election, the official nomination period for candidates is about to begin. Pasadena voters will elect representatives to 4-year terms for City Council Districts 1, 2, 4, and 6, PUSD Board Districts 2, 4, and 6, and for Pasadena Mayor. The City Clerk's office opens the nomination period on Monday, November 17th through December 12th, 2014. The City Clerk encourages all candidates to attend one of the informational workshops either on Monday, November 17th at 8 a.m. or Wednesday, November 19th at 5:30 p.m. Both workshops will be held in the City Clerk's office at City Hall, 100 North Garfield Avenue, room S228. Candidates will learn about the filing process and local election laws with an opportunity to ask questions. For anyone looking to fulfill their civic duty, the city is also in need of poll workers and accessible polling locations for not only the Tuesday, March 10th, 2015 primary election, but also for the general municipal election on Tuesday, April 21st. Poll workers and polling sites are critical components of the election process. If you're interested, contact the City Clerk's office at 626-744-4124 to sign up as a poll worker or to host a polling site. They especially need help from poll workers who speak Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, or Spanish. To get more election information from the City Clerk, check out their website at cityofpasadena.net/city-clerk/election or call the City Clerk's office at 626-744-4124. You can also get more information on the City of Pasadena by calling the Citizen Service Center 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday at 626-744-7311. That's it for your local news. And we're going to go into the Morning Buzz. Altadena activist and author Michelle Zak is back with us once again. The County Board of Supervisors met November 12th to approve the removal of sediment from the Cajamonga Watershed Dam. As chairman of the Altadena Heritage, Michelle Zak stood against the proposals. You wear many hats, doing a lot of things. So why was Pasadena Heritage, or Altadena Heritage, I apologize, so against the sediment removal?
Well, we're not against sediment removal.
Okay.
Everybody agrees that some sediment needed to be removed. It was sort of the scope of and the lack of vision we felt in the plan being put forth, that it has a sort of a boondoggle-ish aspect. And we're talking now about 450 truckloads of debris a day.
A day? That is a lot.
For about 2, 3, 4 years. So there were alternatives to this plan that would have taken more beneficial uses of more uses into account. We had hydrologists, for instance, Dr. Norman Brooks, who's one of our members, who also served on as an advisor to the Pasadena Committee, that came up with an alternative that instead of removing 2.4 million cubic yards, removed only 1.1, and it was fewer a year. So that the trucks would only be running 3 months a year, something like that, instead of, I think now it's it's about 8 months a year. So anyhow, I don't know if it's all over yet. I know that the Arroyo Seco Foundation and other individuals as well as groups, I don't think they're ready just to turn over. I know that the supervisors did certify the final EIR on November 12th, but there could be some fight left in some people.
There's some people who are thinking lawsuits, huh?
Well, I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard that they're not going gently, and that this isn't the end. That there's going to be more of a fight. I don't know particulars, but this is what I have been told.
All right.
It's really going to disrupt traffic and life up there in Altadena. That's a shame.
And also recreation. Recreation is a value, bird watching, all these things that are going to be disrupted for a period of years.
Michelle, you'll keep us updated as this goes forward. But also in the Morning Buzz, a Maryland school has canceled Christmas. Well, not exactly, but they've removed it from their calendar as well as any other religious holidays. They made the move after a group of Muslim parents pushed to have their religious holidays included on the school calendar, thereby forcing the school to close in observation. You know, I don't understand this. In some ways, it's fine. You know what? Why did those dates need to be on the calendar anyway? We have regular calendars. This is a school calendar to show dates. Why do we need to keep track of it? I don't understand.
Well, I believe in separation of church and state. I think most people do. It's very wise. We learned a lot. You know, so many wars have been fought over religion. However, we are a larger culture, and if you are in a situation in a school district where 90% or 80% of kids are going to be celebrating Christmas, then it seems in a way it's not, you know, we should be able to share that, you know, and not only Christmas songs, but, you know, some of the other Jewish traditions or Muslim traditions.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. If you're, you know, if you're in a large, you're in a community that there's lots of people celebrating Christmas. Maybe you have a small portion that's celebrating Hanukkah, Passover, Kwanzaa, etc. Then why not, you know, why can't we all celebrate? Well, we can certainly learn about each other's cultures at the same time.
But, you know, the Muslim parents are saying, hey, you know, our kids are going to get out of school that day for our religious holidays, and they're going to miss out. You know, if school keeps going forward, they're going to, you know, one day can be detrimental to them in their learning. So why don't we get the same equality as, you know, the other holidays? But honestly, you know, if their absenteeism rate isn't going to impact significantly the school, then they can't make that decision.
Well, it seems like the majority in some way has to be the agenda setter when you're figuring out, you know, school days and holidays, because you can't take off all holidays for all groups. It's just not practical.
And what other religions then do you factor in? And we'd be closed all year. Well, thanks, Michelle, for being here, which, yeah, not bad, huh? But thanks for being here, and please definitely keep us updated on the Hahamanga project.
Oh, well, I will do. Thank you.
Coming up in Senior Solutions, Mary Winters talks with estate planning attorney Chris Johnson.
Chris will tell us all about estate planning gone bad so we can avoid the pitfalls next.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Some of us think we need sprawling mansions to plan our estate, so we fail to plan for our family's future.
But what we don't know could hurt us and our family in the long run. In her Senior Solutions segment, Mary Winters talks to estate planning attorney Chris Johnson on all the pitfalls to avoid when it comes to planning your estate.
We're here today with Chris Johnson. We're going to talk a little bit about how to avoid elder abuse, specifically financial elder abuse. About 12% of the California population is made up of seniors, but about 23% of wealth is from seniors. So they're very vulnerable. So thank you, Chris, for being here today. Let's talk a little bit about the issues behind financial elder abuse and how we can avoid that.
Well, a lot of people think in getting their estate plan, it's just getting things where they want to go and having their trustees or their durable powers of attorney in place, but they don't really think about what may happen as they get older and more vulnerable. And so that's where I like to plan ahead, because we've seen just so many people get taken advantage of. So they look for things like building accountability into the plan and having a support group, or who's watching out for you, who's the trust police out there.
So let's go through some of the players and some of the names that would be kind of take place in that estate planning. And I think sometimes we ask the wrong people to participate in those roles too. So let's kind of go through some of those roles in the estate plan.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it's hard to know who the abusers will be, but it's about half the time it is family, because they're the ones who know, and probably the ones maybe people have been supporting, and so they want to keep the gravy train going, maybe, and get in a position of power. And so I like to look for things like the ability to have a co-trustee, where someone could name that, or maybe when one of the spouses dies, that part of the trust becomes irrevocable. So beneficiaries can't be changed when you've got maybe an overbearing child or grandchild that's trying to push to get everything. But then also think about who's looking out for them, because if you, as they get older, and who can step in as a co-trustee, or maybe who gets noticed when there's a change in the trust. Maybe successor trustees should get notice when someone changes the trust.
Okay, so a trustee does what?
A trustee is the person who takes care of the assets for the beneficiaries. And so typically, that's when we make a trust, it's ourselves. But as we get older, there we make provisions for people to step in if we can.
And sometimes when we're the trustee, we don't have the awareness to say that we can't make decisions any longer either. So sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, and putting that co-trustee in place actually helps with us.
Yeah, and the co-trustee, I like to ease people into it and let them know that maybe they don't really do much of anything, but they're there in case they're needed.
Okay. So in addition, do we have power of attorney then? And
yeah, you can have the same people, and I think the same idea, having them be an agent, a backup agent on the power of attorney, again, just to be there in case. But that way they're kind of watching, and I know people maybe don't like to share all of their estate planning, but it usually works better if they choose people they can trust, and then those people are aware of what the plan is.
Okay, so sometimes when they don't have these plans in place and they've declined, then what happens?
Well, then people step in and take advantage. And it's the only alternative to make it official, to have someone making decisions on your behalf, is going to court with a conservatorship, and most people avoid that.
Okay. Thank you for being here today. Will you come back and talk a little bit more about conservatorships in the future?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlize Theron and Sean Penn got some unwelcome company on their Southern California hike.
Valerie Milano has that story in the CCN Entertainment coming up next.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Celebrity couple Charlize Theron and Sean Penn had some unwelcome visitors when they went for a hike together.
CCN's Valerie Milano has that story in her entertainment segment.
Sunita, that's right. Sean Penn and Charlize Theron had their morning hike interrupted by cops Thursday after another hiker accused them of possibly mistreating Charlize's toddler. The incident went down at Vasquez Rocks in Santa Clarita. Charlize and Sean were having a sunrise picnic when a female hiker with a camera decided to take pictures of Charlize's 2-year-old son Jackson as he screamed during a tantrum. We're told Charlize told the woman not to go near Jackson, so she left and called the cops. We're told deputies quickly decided nothing bad was happening. Jackson was just not happy about his time out. The deputies concluded the timeout involved no physical contact, so they left and did not take any action. From two big stars to another, Sharon Stone performed her award-winning best as she rolled out the red carpet for what some say might be an Academy Award contender. The foreign film Kermanjan Datka, Queen of the Mountains premiered this past week at the Egyptian Theater. Academy Award nominee Stone says Queen of the Mountains is epic in its size, proportion, and dignity. The film's first-time director, Shir Niaz, is already getting compared to David Lean of Lawrence of Arabia and the Dr. Zhivago fame. Now to music. Yahoo stepped in it this time with the mistaken release of Taylor Swift's new album, Blank Space. Or was it a pre-planned hype to attract fans? Whatever the case, fans will be even swifter to hear Taylor this season. Blank Space director Joseph Kahn tweeted, quote, "Yup, Yahoo effed up," end quote. Wait to see the Blank Space video. Let Taylor introduce it to you by herself. It'll be worth it. That's it for now. Many more stories on CrownCityNews.com and my website, thehollywoodtimes.net. Always, as always, don't forget the. Lee and Sunita.
Thanks for that, Valerie. Coming up, the Mad Chef's going to whip up a perfect wheatberry salad for Thanksgiving.
And he'll also show us how to make turkey chili to warm us up when the weather gets cooler.
Yum.
Next on Taste of Sunrise.
Yum.
Good, doesn't it sound good?
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
The Mad Chef Dave Matthews is getting ready for Thanksgiving with his delicious wheatberry salad.
Something on here
Oh my
just
gosh,
woke me
you
up.
are, it's the vinegar.
Ah.
It's the golden balsamic. Okay, so with the holidays coming up today, I thought it would be perfect time to talk about chili, turkey chili, because it's healthy. So I thought, what better way to pair it than with wheatberry? And I just discovered wheatberries, and they're fantastic. So this is what the wheat actually looks like. It's the berry before it's molded into flour.
Okay.
So it's really,
can you get this anywhere? Is this like
yeah,
a
you
Whole
can buy
Foods
it
thing?
I bought it at Whole Foods. You can get it pretty much any market carries it. There's some really different varieties. This is a softer. There's two versions. There's a red and there's a white, and there's a soft and a hard. The one thing you want to do with wheat berries, you want to rinse it first and look for rocks. Sometimes there's some rocks or sediment in there.
Okay.
So wash it, and then when you pour it into your pan, because you're going to boil it for an hour to soften it up.
An hour?
Yeah,
Just with water,
just
nothing
with
else?
water.
Okay.
And it's 1 cup of wheat berries to 4 cups of water. So what I have here is I toasted this wheat berry this morning, and then I'm going to have you make the salad.
Great.
So what you're going to do is you're going to make the dressing.
Okay.
So we're making our own cranberry balsamic, which is amazing. So it's equal parts cranberry, equal parts,
Balsamic
Balsamic,
vinegar.
thank you. Yes, throw that in
Is
there.
this apple cider vinegar in it?
It's golden balsamic vinegar.
I've never heard of this.
So delicious. Okay,
Okay.
so that's good.
The whole thing?
You can do. You don't need to do the whole
Okay.
thing, but that's fine.
I got a little excited.
Throw some fresh cranberries in there. So you're going to. This is your salad.
Yes. Okay.
I want you to grate some radish. Oops. Grate. Oh wait, no, yours is.
I'm zesting. Aren't
You're
I zesting
zesting. You are zesting. Where's my spoon here?
The whole thing?
Here we go. So we've reconstituted some. Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay.
We've reconstituted some cranberries. So throw those in there.
Okay.
And some fresh orange juice.
Okay.
I've toasted some pecans for you.
Tablespoon or two, Dave?
Throw more in that. Let's get some flavor in there.
All right.
Then I also sectioned up some green apple. Throw that in there. We're gonna make green apple salad for that.
Very good.
So is this a Granny Smith,
Yummy.
basically?
Granny Smith, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so turkey chili, really easy to make. I took a pound of ground turkey. You can ground your own, especially with the holidays coming. If you've got a KitchenAid, it's really easy to
So
do.
basically, like the turkey leftovers?
Leftovers.
Oh,
You can
it's
also
perfect.
shred it
yummy.
if you like. So you want to just throw that into a stock pot, little bit of oil, and brown it. And then throw in 1 onion, chop an onion up, and some jalapeno. Remember, if you don't want heat, take the seeds out.
I'm going to leave those seeds in. I like my heat.
I do too. And then throw in your seasoning. All I did was some cumin, a little bit of tomato paste. Let that cook for 40 minutes. I threw some white beans in this one, and that was it.
You basically, can you just throw in anything you got around?
45 minutes you can have chili.
Oh,
and this is the
perfect.
best chili ever. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's make your dressing. So we're gonna throw a little bit of honey in here.
So Dave, do these nuts go in a salad as well?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Throw the nuts in. The nuttier the better.
And is this any specific kind of honey? Like, does it have to be?
It could be any honey.
Okay.
So turn that on. Let's get this going here.
I see our crew already chomping at the bit, wanting to try some of this out.
Okay,
I love that Mary's always first out. She's like, feed me.
We need some more bowls. Okay, so Lee, I'm gonna have you grate.
Is this good, or are you
that
still
should
keep
be
going?
done. Okay, so you can strain it if you like. I actually like the
Texture to
texture
it?
of it, yeah. So this is a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna just pour some of this in here, and then go ahead and.
Oh, that looks great, Dave.
Just put it in there.
Look at that color.
Smells really good. So go ahead and mix that up, and we add a little salt and pepper to that.
Okay. When do I zest?
You're going to zest. Go for zesting.
He's so zesty.
You could actually zest.
I just love me some zesting, Dave. You know that.
I'm gonna have you zest in this as well. So this is our turkey chili. We're gonna throw some radishes in here.
Where else am I zesting? Sorry.
You're gonna zest a radish.
Okay.
Which is probably the first time
I've
you've
never
zested.
heard of
I know.
zesting.
There you
Wow.
go. Throw that in there.
Very good.
Is that just more for the color, or?
No,
Like
sometimes
the
if you just want to do
strong
something
flavor?
a little bit different.
Okay, well,
I could do that with garlic zesting.
Can I
Yeah, you
start
sure can.
tasting?
Gosh,
Mary's ready to start tasting.
Gosh.
She's here for business.
She's here, we know. Okay, let's.
Mary's
You
going to throw
start
elbows in a
first.
minute there. That's right.
Let's throw this.
I don't even know if I can hold that bowl. And then cilantro, are you garnishing with
I'm gonna
that?
garnish with just a little bit of cilantro. I love
Okay.
cilantro, so.
All right, while
For the
Mary
color?
is tasting, we want to
Get that
thank
in
you
there.
for this show. That's all we have for today, and we want to thank all of our sponsors for supporting our show.
Here, use your spoon here.
Big thanks also to author activist Michelle Zach, Robert Bethea with the Royal Pasadena Elite Volleyball Club, and producer and host for the Yes Show, LaCora Stevens, for joining us in the studio.
Thanks also to our segment stars and crew, and especially to you out there for watching us. Have a great rest of your day. We certainly are as we taste this tasty food.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, Senior Providers Network, Ability First, Beacon Media News, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. You too can sponsor Crown City News. Call 626-344-8314 or email sponsors@crowncitynews.com. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.